People start using drugs for a lot of different reasons. Maybe it's curiosity, or to have a good time. Maybe it's just to follow friends who are using. Some may see it as a way to improve athletic performance, or maybe just numb emotional pain. Drug use doesn't automatically lead to abuse. Drug abuse and addiction can be less about the use frequency and more about why a person would turn to drugs in the first place. If drug use is causing problems in life, such as losing a job or relationship problems, it's likely you'll find a problem with drug abuse. Understanding addiction is founded in knowledge. Here are some risk factors that increase the likelihood of addiction. Having a family history of addiction. Experiencing abuse, neglect, or other traumatic experiences. Having mental health disorders such as anxiety and depression. Method of drug consumption. Injecting or smoking a drug may increase its addictive potential. And early use of drugs. There are many signs, both physical and behavioral, that indicate drug use. Each drug has its own manifestations. Symptoms of abuse vary from drug to drug. However, some general signs that your loved one may be addicted to drugs includes the following. A sudden change in behavior, mood swings, withdrawal from family members, red or glassy-looking eyes, runny or stuffy nose, problems at school or work, lack of energy or motivation, becoming careless about personal grooming, loss of interest in hobbies, sports, and other favorite activities, changing sleep patterns, sudden requests for money, or a spike in how much money is spent. Helping a loved one dealing with drug abuse isn't easy, and there are no magic formulas that will get an addict to stop using. However, here are suggestions on how to help a loved one get treatment for their drug or alcohol addiction. Until you have knowledge about addiction and the symptoms of drug or alcohol abuse, it's easy to miss the signs that may be right in front of you. Addiction can be very complex, and it's okay if you don't know everything right away. But taking the time to understand an addict's disease and how it affects them is incredibly beneficial to both you and your loved one. The Institute for Addiction Study has made 2 landmark films presenting why addiction is a disease, how addiction works on the mind, and what the addict, family, and friends need to know while following the path to recovery. These award-winning films are titled Pleasure Unwoven and Memo to Self. Both feature the expert advice and deep addiction understanding of Dr. Kevin McCulley. All the information regarding these films are found on our website, and you can find the link to our site in the description. Addicts don't always understand how much their family and friends love them. Talk to your loved one about your concerns, and don't wait for them to hit rock bottom to speak up. Let them know that you're going to support them and help them on their journey to recovery. As with any disease, the earlier addiction is treated, the greater the potential for recovery. But don't be surprised if you're met with denial or excuses as to why they can't or won't seek treatment. Be persistent about how important it is that they enter treatment for their addiction. Avoid making them feel guilty or ashamed. Once your loved one decides to enter treatment, it's essential that you remain involved. Continue supporting their participation in outgoing care, meetings, and recovery support groups. Be the support system that they need and show them that you'll be there every step of the way. Taking care of yourself is very important. Make sure your own needs are met by getting enough sleep, exercise, eating well, and maintaining strong relationships with others. Don't be afraid to get help if you find yourself struggling due to your loved one's drug or alcohol challenges. When talking to a loved one about getting treatment for their addiction, here are some things to avoid. Preaching, lecturing, threatening, or moralizing. Emotional outpourings that may increase the feeling of guilt and contribute to the compulsion for drugs or alcohol use. Avoid lying or making excuses for their behavior. Avoid taking over for their responsibilities. Doing this protects them from the consequences of their own behavior. Avoid enabling their behavior by giving them money for drugs. Avoid arguing with your loved one when they are using drugs. They won't be able to hold a rational conversation or be open to what you have to say. Don't fall into the trap of feeling guilty or responsible for their behavior. Assisting an addict is difficult for all the caring people in an addict's life. The best thing you can do for an addict is to encourage them to seek treatment for their addiction. Always strive to be loving and supportive. Expect excuses for their bad behaviors and be firm in your encouraging them to get help. This isn't easy to do, but it is a critical first step along the path to a healthy and happy life in recovery. Don't forget to check out our clear and easy-to-understand films on addiction called Pleasure Unwoven and Memo to Self. It's all on the Institute for Addiction Studies website. You'll find the link in the description.